coming to you live from the largest British prison in the known universe. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
Welcome to the 162nd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. As every week, I'm Log Power Slave. This week, we're going to be talking all about Trials coming back. We're going to be talking about Luke Smith's director's cut. And we're going to be talking about the fact that Mylan fucking Games has got sun cream in his eyes.
I'm absolutely dying. And I know all of you have experienced this where so I've just come back from crabbing. We're on holidays, which is why I'm in a makeshift accommodation at the moment. It's just basically a sea container. Just a tiny bit of sweat, a little bit of sun cream went straight into my eyes. And now I'm in pain. I'm fucking dying.
So the funny thing about this is, like, you know, you'd think that we were just being ruthless and making him go on with the podcast despite being in pain. But this happened maybe 10 seconds before the intro.
Yeah.
He sat there with this fucking stunned look on his face and stopped trolling chat for 10 seconds. And I went, oh no, I've got sun cream in my eye. You dumb shit. You'll live. You're going to be dumb. You've got to be tough. This week, we're also joined by Sass. We've got him on. Given the Trials is coming back, we figured that we could get him on to help us to carry us through an episode of the podcast, just like he does Trials in the spirit of the occasion. And to say goodbye to Fractaline and the concept of Fractaline, he's going to donate for the entire course of the podcast. So if you watch the video of this,
5,000.
Yeah, Sass is actually an AI construct. He's not actually a man, so we have to find something else to put on the screen for whenever he comes on. So he's going to be donating all of his Fractaline throughout the course of the show. And I don't know. I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. I suppose we probably won't even get close to getting it done. That's the sad part.
Nah, all right, I'm starting it now. Let's see how much we can donate.
Good. All right. Well, aside from having sun cream in your eyes, Matt, how you going?
Oh, well, currently I'm still in immense pain. No. It's a long week. Is it a long weekend for you guys over east?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a long weekend this weekend, so we're down south of Western Australia, just having a bit of family time. We went crabbing this morning out with some scoop nets. Caught a couple crabs. They weren't the right size, so we just let them go.
What are they, muddies? You after muddies?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. The blue ones.
Oh, blue
ones
swimmers.
that ones that move, just any live ones.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We haven't eaten them anyway. Trying to. I'm honestly like I've been pepper sprayed.
Yeah, it's
like I think
brilliant.
It goes pepper spray and then sun cream.
Sun cream is just below pepper spray. Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
Just for our audio listenership, just imagine what Matt normally looks like, except his eyes are incredibly red and stoned looking, or he's squinting. That's it. There's no in between. The man is in pain.
You know that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where I think it's from Inception, and it's like there's a dog behind you, and what does it look like? And he's like,
yeah, it's
like
basically you.
Oh look, I did a video on everything you need to know about Rasputin after our little chat last week, so that will come out on Monday morning Australia time, Sunday night. We've got a little bit more lore on Bungo's website. I've read it a couple times. I don't really have any crazy interpretations yet, but we'll definitely chat about it. And I started doing some Tarkov editing, and I did a non-meme video, and I was like a tips and tricks. And I started editing it. And I thought, this is fucking horse shit. I'm not putting this on the channel. So basically,
It's funny because you and I have had a very, very similar week because I had not much to do on Destiny, and normally I'd do something on Wednesday night and fucking upload it for Banner Force. Like that'll be what I cut down. And the only thing I did on Wednesday night was run fucking Brachion over and over and over again. So I thought, no, I'm going to sit down. This is my challenge. I have to salvage something out of this really fucking boring night. So keep an eye on my channel. Probably tomorrow morning there will be an incredibly average video, and I make no apologies for it.
I couldn't, like, the thing is, I've been working to get the Tarkov videos out. I've basically spending every Sunday. So every time that we go away for the weekend, I don't have any time to make the Tarkov videos. So I'm just trying to get my schedule right so I don't have to do it on a Sunday. But I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to release some of that. I just was boring. I was like, this is what happened. I'd already filmed it all, and I was in Adobe and I was editing it. And I got halfway through and I thought, I'm fucking bored. And then I just closed down Adobe. I just literally closed Adobe and thought, fuck that. If I'm getting bored, everyone else is going to be bored. This is horse. But the ironic thing is, like, I know people want that content. I just thought to myself, I'm already doing Destiny content that, like, is in a difficult, like, it's a hard niche.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, fucking make myself another hard niche. Like, you know, being a dado of the fucking Tarkov and doing numbers and spreadsheets and like.
Oh no!
You can't do that to yourself again, man.
Yeah, I was like, I just need something. This needs to be a fun channel where we just, I don't know. Well, me and Daniel will play some Age of Empires today, and we'll film that. Put that up there.
Age of Empires in a shipping crate with fucking sun cream in your eyes. I'd watch the shit out of that. That sounds great.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's the other thing we've been doing. I know this is the longest intro ever, but
it's fine.
So this is how I know I'm marrying the right woman. When we came back from our trip, because we just got a nice hotel, Crown Towers in Perth, like the casino. There's like a new hotel area, and we came back like, what are we going to do for the rest of the day? And we ended up playing Age of Empires 2 because it had like a re-release edition. And then all of a sudden, Danny's like a fucking crack addict, like wanting to play Age of Empires. Like,
she messaged me as well.
Yeah,
she played Age of Empires while Matt was at, what is it, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I came home from training, and normally, you know, Danny's there to greet me. I'm like, where's Danny? Look at my office. Fucking quickly, Sassi, fucking make skirmishes.
Fucking hell. So yeah, but that's like what she's been coming home to for fucking years at this point. So.
I know, and it just warms my heart. I'm like, I know how she feels now.
I'm just trading between Matt playing Tarkov with Matt and playing Age of Empires with Danny. Just whoever's away at the time.
Well, you better fucking sort your shit out because you got to carry me through trials, mate.
I know.
Do you know, I have an idea, right? So you know all that Tarkov memeing shit that I've been doing?
Yeah.
I'm Sassi, you need to help, and Log, you need to be there too. We're going to do a trials one, and I'm going to make a meme trials video to go on the Marlin games just to see people's reaction.
Yeah, dude, do it. Oh, fucking, 100%. It'll be funny. I can guarantee that. It'll be fucking hilarious.
And then, you know, and if it goes well, I'm going to quit law and become an absolutely toxic PvP, fucking $20 carries, fucking subs only channel.
I know that you're baiting me, you fucking dead shit, but so anyway, Sass is here. How are you, Sass? What's been going on, mate?
I'm doing good. I've had an okay week. I've been juggling like so many games. So I haven't been playing Tarkov because Matt's been busy, and that's my only source of fun. So I've been getting back into Division 2 as well. We can make a hardcore character. So if you die once, the game just locks you out of the character. So
really?
Yeah. So I've been playing that.
Wait, what do you mean locks you out?
Like, it will literally kick you to the main menu, and then if you try select that character, it's like, yeah, nah, you can't do that.
Like, honestly, so one and done, like proper one and done.
If you die, the only option you have is just to delete it and start again. So it's a lot of fun.
That sounds fucking horrible. That sounds
It's-
horrible.
oh,
No, that sounds
so
good.
You
Wait,
pair,
but is
man.
it a hold on? Is it a hardcore server? Like, is it PvP hardcore as well or not?
no. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe in the Dark Zone it is. I don't think so. I haven't looked that far into it. I haven't got to that yet. I've just been leveling the character up. But
Yeah,
it's been
right.
great, dude. I've been liberating the streets of Washington DC while listening to 80s and 90s hip hop and rap. So like Public Enemy and Run DMC.
You know, like
Biggie Smalls.
I've met you in person, and everything about that basically runs contrary to everything I know about you as a person. So, I can't imagine a less fitting thing for you to be doing with your time, but I'm glad that you're enjoying it. But fuck all these other games. Fuck this shit. Let's talk some Destiny because it's been an incredibly big news week.
Oh yeah.
Let's
heck
hit the sting and then come back and talk about let's scale Mount News. Let's put it that way. All right, so first things first, what happened? I think was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't know, one of the earlier days this week that have all merged together into one. When I was at work, we finally hit the limit on the donations that Sass is still studiously donating to at the moment, but we finally capped it out, and then basically there was half an hour timer before a YouTube reveal from Bungie became active that basically reintroduced us to Trials of Osiris and the fact that it's going to be
Didn't see
kicking
that
off with the next
coming.
DLC. No one saw that coming,
People
right?
lost
No
their
one saw it
minds.
coming, man.
People
It was
lost
good.
their fucking minds.
It was good because everyone was like, I have not been in a fucking like any kind of stream chat that was moving that fast in a very long time because I jumped in the YouTube because it was like a premiere, like you know how you've been doing the premieres, Matty. It was one of those. So I jumped in and it was just like you couldn't even read a single fucking message. Just like you know, like okay, what's the point in even typing anything into that? But it was good. I think. Go.
How good is that little countdown premiere when you get to like 10 seconds?
Oh,
Oh,
that
it's
was
good.
so
They do
good.
it well, man. They do it very well.
I don't know why. Whoever did that sound design, it's fucking perfect.
Is that like
just
I've
beautiful.
never? Is that a YouTube thing? Is it?
Yeah, so that's on
Okay.
every video. If I do a premiere, I get that little countdown timer too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm never
That's
doing a
pretty good.
premiere, man, because it sets the bar unreasonably high. Like, here's this great lead into your video, and then, oh, fuck, it's going.
When the countdown is better than the content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a premiere for a Tarkov video one time, and I was the only person in the cinema. So
Oh no.
comes my premiere, guys.
Just like
You're
that,
like the
you know,
one
that
guy
fucking, is
sitting
it
with
Pablo
popcorn.
Escobar, where he's just walking around by himself in that movie? Just Matt in a cinema by himself. Perfect posture,
Yeah.
watching his own fucking videos.
I know that's like the one person with popcorn. Be like, look at this guy. He's so funny. He's me.
All right, sorry, keep going.
No. It was good. I mean, I was kicking around in streams and stuff at the time, so I kicked off a lot of conversation about people trying to pick apart what the weapons were. That people already think they've spotted the doctrine of passing, and I'm not sure what else is going to come. But obviously, the big thing that they did announce in that was that basically the OG Trials armor set is the Trials armor set, so it's going to be super nostalgic. I mean, some interesting things came out of the reveal too, and if you've been around the Destiny community at all over the last few days, you're going to know what the fuck they are. But one was that it was light level or power level enabled, artifact level enabled, in much the same vein that Iron Banner has been, which was kind of probably the most universally no thanks thing I've ever seen ever. Like literally everyone went, no,
Hold up now.
I do not want this.
Yeah, because the main I guess the main thing about that was the artifact was that people would just grind artifact levels and
Oh, not even that. It's just people who have been saving bounties up for the past season get a huge head start. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it basically takes an advantage. It gives an arbitrary advantage to people who do things outside of the game mode, right? Like you can't raise your power level significantly by playing Trials, and it kind of negates skill to an extent. And I think that's why people are sick of it in Iron Banner too, because it's like I understand that like it's meant to be a pinnacle activity, and it's like it's the hardest of the hard, but it really doesn't feel very pinnacly when you're meant to be in there competing and someone's just given this advantage. Like some of the disgusting stuff I saw in that last Iron Banner with people like, you know, one-shotting and, oh man, it was something. So, I mean, the good news is that Luke Smith tweeted yesterday, I believe, that that won't be the case, that they've disabled artifact light level in both Trials and Iron Banner going forward until they can work out a fix, some way to cap it, which I think is a better way to go about it. And the other interesting thing is that because that isn't a factor now, the artifact isn't a factor, pinnacle drops all of a sudden become important. So if you can go and get, you know, just a couple of light levels above other people by going and seeking out the raid armor and all that sort of stuff, then you get a small advantage. So it's not going to be anywhere near as pronounced.
But what did he say? Just disabling artifact or disabling light level?
Disabling artifact, I believe.
Oh, really?
They want to re-implement it and have it as like a hard cap where it stops mattering. And
so it's still light level then.
Yeah, it's still light level. I think
gear,
it should be.
Look at it like two things. There's the level of your gear and then the level of the artifact. So they've just completely taken the artifact level out of the mix. Personally, I was stoked when I heard this because I had concerns. Like, you know, I don't have a whole heap of time, but I was super excited to be able to get back into that game mode. And when you think about it through the lens of like Destiny 1, there wasn't that much difference in people's light levels at the top end, right? Because it was capped. You couldn't go and grind things ad nauseum and become, you know, blow the disparity and, you know, like really get ahead. So good move all around, and just goes to show that Bungie are listening. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to miss that, to be honest. It was that fucking loud and that everywhere. But I'm sure that they were like driving into work and there was people holding fucking ticketed signs out in the street. You know, like being ushered into the building or something. I don't know. That's the way it felt. It felt very big. But
imagine if they actually got like postal mail still as hate mail. It's like, dearest Bungie, I am writing you today to ask, can you fucking not?
I don't think anyone's posting fucking hate mail to people, man.
So Sassi,
yo,
as obviously someone who does not play hardly any PvP. Well, you know me. I'm actually quite competitive. I just never really got into Destiny PvP. So
at moments more competitive than me, which scares me a little bit. But
yeah, so I'm definitely going to play Trials, and I actually think this might be my thing that gets me back into it, because I guess I was always distracted in the first part of Destiny with raids and lore and stuff. I think this is a good time for me to like actually try a bit more PvP. What should I be doing to prepare? Like, is it too late for me to prepare? Should I be like, whatever, when Trials comes out, I'll just jump in? Or should I be trying to get certain roles and weapons, or like what?
I reckon
just don't worry about it.
You still got time. We haven't seen the extent of the weapon changes. So long as you're comfortable with a couple of weapons, I think you can just sit tight and see what happens. Because there's already
Get up on your mic, boy. You're quiet.
Oh. I'm sorry. Because there's already a plethora of very good base weapons for you to choose from that you can just use, especially as something like exotics. Like if a hand cannon is the thing, I mean, you just use Ace of Spades until you figure out something else. Or auto rifles are the thing, just use Zero's Regime or Hard Light.
Holy shit, I've been giving it a go over the last day.
It is so good.
It is so rude. And like to think that in a week and a half it's gonna just be more rude, and like there's no like, guess what? Now it does a bit more damage. Yeah.
Nothing is more beautiful than playing like Javelin 4, where all the walls are like completely straight and vertical. There's like no bumps. So when someone just ducks around a corner, you just continue firing at the wall, and eventually you'll get hits, and you'll probably kill them.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, you can use it to control space too. But I think like I'm going to throw this out there. I watched Maddie play. When were you playing? And I was watching you when we were doing the charity thing. When you were
charity stream, maybe, or
you'll go fine. You just probably need to work on playing with people, which I am shit at. Maxi's in chat. He knows. I just run off and do whatever I want and leave him and Nick to salvage the rounds.
I'm good at listening. I like to think if someone's got to instruct me, I can take instructions pretty well.
Yeah, you say the opposite of me. But you'll do fine. You'll be absolutely fine. I think that's the thing that like a lot of people initially, you know, this is well received by a large segment of the community, but it was incredibly poorly received by some people who were like, I don't play PvP at all. I'm not excited for this. And if this is the next season, it can go fuck itself. Now, the other important bit of information that came out is that this is actually a free-to-play game mode. So it is not behind a paywall, which is something that we were concerned about and, to be honest, still are concerned about. But this isn't next season's DLC, right? If you want to look at it like that, this isn't the next season's content. There is going to be content there that is story-driven and focused. This is an addition to the free-to-play game.
Well, this was the reward for this season.
Yeah,
it's not next season.
It's for mine, like hang a week and then decide whether or not you're interested or not, because it is absolutely like I get it. If you really hate PvP and it's not your thing, you shouldn't be forced to do it to, you know, it'd be the only content. But part of me kind of feels like, well, there's been nothing for PvP for a fucking year and the PvP community still is. So
yeah, I think it's easily their time, and I think it's a good time too. Like I don't know, I'm quite excited to see how it happens, and I'm really excited to see what happens on Twitch and to see what it does with the popularity in the directory. I just think it's going to be really nostalgic for a lot of people.
My only hope.
I don't know. I think people are going to be really excited to watch it. I think.
Yeah.
You know, for me, Destiny is not particularly an exciting game to watch on stream. It is a much more community focused one. It's a much more like place you come out, chill out, just shoot the shit. Unless it's like raid week, or unless you're doing a puzzle, like that's when it really blows up. But I think something that's weekly or every day, do we know if it's going to be like certain days, like the weekends?
I will absolutely take the punt and say that it's going to be the back end of the week. If you look at the,
you reckon?
Yeah, if you look at the announcement, I think it says it kicks off.
Again.
It kicks off on Friday the 13th, and the actual season changes on the 10th. So it kicks off the Friday. So I'm willing to bet that it's just for the back half of the week.
Back to the weekend.
So it's part of that ritual again. You know, like for mine, I can say this. Back when before we started the podcast and all that sort of stuff, and I had more time to go around and just be a kind of passive viewer in people's streams, Trials streams were nearly all I watched because of that. Like, I was learning.
They're just exciting.
Yeah, and like the other thing too, and I hope this becomes, I'm sure it will become an important part of the economy too, is that like you get great players, right? Watching great players play with other great players is cool. But that's not cool for very long because they just go and shit on everyone, right? Like watching great players impart their knowledge and use their skill to help someone else is literally the bread and butter of this game mode and why it works on Twitch. To have people be able to jump in with someone that's, you know, doing carries or whatever, I think is the part that excites me most about it, because not only do you get like to see someone achieve a goal that they otherwise wouldn't be able to or would struggle to do, you get to see the great player that's carrying them tested as well, and they're tested in so many different ways. When you kind of break it down, there's a lot going on in that, and I think it's going to be really dramatic and can lead to really great soaring moments, and I'm fucking really hyped that it's back, which is why I'm rambling on about it. But
it's a welcome return. I just hope that there's enough freshness for the nostalgia to last, because we're bringing back old maps too.
Yeah, there's three. There's three. So there's Exodus Blue, the Anomaly, and what's the other one?
Cauldron, I think it is.
Oh yeah, too.
The moon one.
That'll be interesting. Well,
that's for Anomaly, which was my favorite map.
Anomaly ties directly into the lore stuff that we're going to talk about later, which I did not put two and two together until Matty put his tweet out yesterday or whenever it was, and I watched his video again, which I'm like, oh, there was a lot of that going.
The plot's thicken.
But I mean, that's Trials. We don't really know a whole heap more about, you know, they were very strong on we wanted to take the time to get this right. And make sure that it serviced the game in the way that they thought they needed to off the bat, which I totally agree with. It has been gone for a long time though, and I would have expected it back by now, but who cares? I am really interested to see whether they've made any significant changes. I'd like to think that they have, given that, like, it's going to be similar to the way it was. But I mean, there was also some really crazy damage numbers and things going on in that trailer, and some really kooky shit going on. Also, the title "Flawless" was on bloody Oryx_BNG in the video. So
Yeah, that was really cool.
I think we've got a little bit of a sneak peek at a title associated with Trials too. So, man,
What's the date? Do we have the date that it returns?
13th.
Friday.
It'll be Saturday our time, American Friday the 13th.
I'm booking it in my freaking calendar right now. Saturday.
Who knew? What are you going to do to bring back a lore master to Destiny? Bring back the most competitive game mode in its history. Who knew?
I'm interested. I'm honestly interested to see what the new lighthouse look like, because the old one was pretty and it was like so mysterious.
Yeah, I think there's going to be. Sorry, Matt, go.
I might fire up the old Marlin Games Twitch channel. I might do it.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Like, what? And you know what? You just need to have a command !law, and when people type !law, it just comes up in capital letters and says no. No.
That's my YouTube, not my
Go on
Twitch.
fucking YouTube.
Yeah, or better, it just links my name to Spife's YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, do that. That's just as a meta game. So Sass, while you're here, and we touched on it earlier before, if people are out there and they're looking to sort of over the next week and a half hone their skills a little bit to get into Trials, what would you like? Just a couple of quick bullet points that they should be focusing on to really knuckle down.
Play the elimination playlist. I think it's still available. So start getting a little group together and working on comms. What else? Don't focus on the meta too much. I've harped on about this for so long. Focus on getting good with the guns that you enjoy using and the subclasses that you enjoy using. And the biggest part, is just find a group of friends that you can start playing with and work on how you guys operate. And then have fun. That's the biggest one. Don't go into it like sweating really hard. Just go in and have fun.
What fucking alternate timeline are we in right now that this Sweat Lord PvP toxic master is saying have fun?
He's trying to put his best foot first. You know? That thing that
what I would like you to do is clip that, and then we'll grab a clip of the filth that comes out of Sassi's fucking mouth when we're playing Trials.
You know that thing that me and you do when we go on other people's podcasts where we don't act like obnoxious dickheads? He's just doing that. It's fine. Have fun.
I'm going to make a montage. Okay, this is going in the fucking first meme video because this will be recorded already. I'm going to put a montage of you going, have fun, and then juxtapose that with you yelling at me and Log about whatever position we're in, being in the wrong, and then have fun in the back. Have fun. Fucking Log, you're in the wrong spot. Get on the...
Admittedly, Sass isn't really like that. He's really not. I've played with him a lot. He doesn't really razz. He doesn't really fucking spray people. I'm far harsher on myself than he's ever been on me.
I spray myself more than...
Yeah.
Hey, you know the good thing, Sassy?
What, man?
There's no fucking friendly fire in Destiny.
Okay, so pretext. How many times? I think two of the 3 times we raided last week, I ended up killing you.
Yeah. So the thing is, we
off
don't want to
with
start
your
talking about
Tarkov.
Tarkov, but anyway, Sassy's in a game with friendly fire. Sassy's killed me multiple times. And he's like, sorry, man. Just put a bullet in me.
It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Well, the other thing that happened this week was Luke Smith's fucking magnum opus of the year, another director's cut that came out with some pretty heavy directional philosophy things in it. So if you've not read it, I'd absolutely recommend
Oh, shit.
jumping
I missed
in.
that. I missed that.
You are the busiest dude in the world at the moment. and you're allowed to miss a couple of things. It's fine.
Wait,
But-
this was written, was it? Is it
yeah,
written?
it's on Bungie.
Another
right now.
director's
You won't be able to
cut
read
on-
it now. It's like
on
it's
Bungo.
more. It's a few solid
It's
pages.
it's another text
Okay,
dump.
okay.
But probably the most contentious and interesting part of it was where he started to elaborate on their forward-looking design philosophy for weapons and metas, and looking more or less at ways to give weapons a shelf life, which I'm probably not explaining that the best, but that weapons would be acquired and then sort of phased out in maybe, or he said 9 to 15 months. So I'm just going to say a year. So you get a weapon, you've got about a year before it can no longer be advanced in the game and becomes less effective. So I've seen a lot of conversation about this on Twitter. I mean, I fucking live on there, so I'm there on there plenty. I see plenty of shit.
You're such a gremlin on Twitter.
Oh yeah, dude. If fucking like if I'm the lost sector troll of fucking Twitter, I live there. Lots of points for and against. You know, people have built up pretty strong relationships with the weapons that they've used for a long time. And I understand that, you know, people who, that lean into that sort of stuff and build one particular play style, I understand that it's probably going to be a bit of a shock. But at the same time, for me, I think it's a really fucking exciting and positive change, because it's going to enable Bungie to kind of tune things on the fly and not have it be, not have to like come in and nerf and have everything. This whole system of like trying to keep everything viable and kind of making everything a little bit more boring in the process is going to take a back seat to, okay, well, there's powerful weapons right now and that is what it is, and we move forward. So for mine, I actually really think that could come to be a positive thing, because, you know, like over the last few weeks since I've started talking about the way the meta is going to change, I've been like, fuck yeah, bring on something different. Like I've been sniping and hand cannoning for forever. And I know that's like...
it's just keeping it fresh, man.
Yeah. So now I'm playing with fucking auto rifles that I've never really bothered to look at, and, you know, it's just whatever, just giving something different a go.
Yeah. I think the best thing from it is twofold. One is variety. Actually, threefold. One is variety. The second is, I think it probably allows them to go a bit harder during seasons, because they know that whatever they...
around.
Yeah. So it
They're
allows
not
them
going to have to live with it for forever. If something goes a bit hard.
I was just about to bring that up, because it gives them so much freedom. Because the problem with nowadays is that you can make a really good gun, right? But the problem is that if you make a really good gun, no one's going to use anything else. Because you can have all these cool ideas that like you can have different guns that function different ways. But if they're not as good as X gun, I'm going to use Recluse for the biggest example, because I think this is the biggest offender. Like, if you can have really cool guns like Devil's Ruin or like a bunch of other exotics, but nothing is as easy to use. Nothing pumps out like decent amount of damage like Recluse is.
So how are they going to phase them out? Do you know? Did he give that? Or was this the philosophy of it?
I'm searching the article. I believe what he said is that there will be like a theoretical cap to how much you can infuse that weapon before you just can't infuse it anymore.
So it's really, when he says phase out, he means for like, you know, Trials is going to be around and that's light level enacted. So, you know, they'll phase out those top weapons by them not being able to be infused, essentially.
Yeah, more or less.
The simplest version of how this is going to work is legendary weapons will have fixed values for how high they can be infused. These values will project the weapon's viable in-game lifespan, and we will think that lifespan is somewhere between 9 and 15 months.
Which is fucking heat time.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time, man. Like when you think back over Destiny 2 and you're like, well, what's the meta right now? It's fucking spare rations, right? Mindbenders.
Mindbenders, yeah.
They would just be, well, mindbenders not so much, but spare rats would just be being phased out. You know what I mean?
And there's nothing worse than a new player coming into a game, and this happens across PvE and PvP.
Oh, yeah.
You know, You raid help. All right, do you have this gun? No, I just fucking started the game. Like, I don't have that gun that you like that you've been using for 12 months. Or like, you go into PvP, and this is going to happen with trials carries. All right, what gun did you have? I don't know yet. I don't have any fucking guns yet. Like, you know, but so it's gonna help with getting new players in and not feeling like they're overwhelmed and they're so far behind, because some games do that. You're like, what's the point of playing? Already. I'm so far behind. I might as well not play.
Because that's happening right now with PvP with spare rats. Like the only way you can get it, play Gambit Prime or play Reckoning. And how many people play Reckoning? 5? 6 on a good day?
All up, yeah. You basically got to put together a team for it, right? Like
you got to play content.
That's the only way you can play.
That's a year old. So no one in the current quote unquote player base is going to be playing it, because they did that for 3 months during that season.
Yeah,
so you shoehorn yourself into stuff like that. So I love this idea.
Yeah,
I think like the thing that weapons right now are in a really, for mine, and this is my opinion, and like everyone's welcome to theirs. So if you've got a take on it and you want to share it, jump in the YouTube comments or at the podcast on Twitter. Like, I'm all about listening to everyone's ideas, but for mine, the way weapons work right now, in terms of the economy of them, not the way they play, but the economy of weapons is so fucking stale. You get 30 fucking weapons thrown at you every night when you log into Destiny, and 99.9% of them you dismantle and throw away, just because I don't fucking need them. Even if not more pronounced than that. I can't remember the last gun that I didn't deliberately farm for, that I got randomly, that I kept. So it's kind of clear that we're being force fed these weapons that we don't need. There's no, they're just materials effectively. So if they can find a way to give us stuff that is current, that we're interested in because of the time frame of it, rather than I've been getting better devils for fucking 3 years now, I don't care. I think that's a super powerful move.
I think there's got to be something similar to what they've done with armor, with different seasons and mods you can apply to your weapons, and something to that effect. I don't know. Like, I really just wish the collections had whatever random role you unlock, it would just be in your collection. So you could, when you maybe didn't feel like playing, you could go through and actually look at what you could, want to run and start making builds that way. Because I just can't be fucked making those decisions when I'm actually playing and talking to people. Like, I want to be playing. Like, I just can't be bothered opening up and being like, and for me, for someone like who doesn't play a lot of PvP, like, I don't know what the meta is on each type of archetype. And I'm like, that means I've got to go searching for information to work out what it is.
Do you want to know what I do, Matt? I sit in a chat with Sass, Aura, and Maxi and Nick, and I read out the role, like the perks on a weapon. All right, I got a this with a this, that, and they go, no, delete it. That's
I probably need to do that more. But like if you're new, it's quite hard to do that, and that would also solve the issues with Vault Space if they work out what to do with collections better.
Yeah, because it doesn't do anything. It's like, cool, here's a list of guns that you've gotten, but because they have randoms, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, here's a list of things you've achieved, also, but you can't pick them up unless they were old stuff in which you can pick them up and they're inferior.
And this is also to add like a footnote to this. This is end game only, so non-light level enabled stuff you can still use whatever the heck you want. So like basic PvP.
So you could always go back into quick play and use your fucking spare rats that's gone out of date, and compete with it and have your little nostalgia trip. Or if you're a complete hard ass and you've got a point to prove, you could be, the top 1% player that wants to go into trials and flex and go in there with old gear on and be like, I can use my old gun and still pistol whip people. I think, it works two ways. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I've got my Kvostov on.
What I do every single time you change, at the end of every single game, just go on dim and just randomize your weapons.
Yeah,
do you think we'll ever
really
get
combos? Sometimes you get.
Do you think they will ever move away from?
No.
Not maybe. So you get random rolls at the moment. Do you ever think they'll just be unlocking the spots, and once you've unlocked a a perk, you just can build it, or do you think it's always going to sit on the grind for the random roll?
I believe they're always going to sit on the grind. What I would love to see, and I've talked about this with Log, is something that happens in the division, hence, but you can choose one perk or one stat on a piece of armor or a weapon, and you can choose to re-roll that with the costs increasing every time you re-roll it. So if like up until the point, I'm just going to use Destiny currency as an example, up until the point where it costs like 100,000 glimmer plus some legendary shards plus some other mats to re-roll it. So it's like,
and in division, is it always slot, or do you get to pick like one of them to re-roll?
You get to pick. So you get to pick one stat roll or one perk, and that's the only thing. And it locks. So locks you out for everything else. And then
so if you get a gun that's like 90% right, you're like, right, this is the only perk that's wrong with it. You roll it.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a good way to keep the grind going, because you still have to grind for getting something to the 90 percentile, but then you could potentially roll to get the perfect
exactly like
roll.
Exactly like in Diablo 3, but Speakable Auto reforging in Destiny 1 rerolled the whole gun. I'm just talking about one thing. So if you got a spare, let's use spare rats again. If you got a spare rats with rapid hit and then nothing, you can just choose to reroll that nothing perk until you get something good.
Yeah. I think, personally, I think that they're going to have to look at it, because if they're going to shorten the lifespan, they're going to have to address the grind, right? Like, because you've got people out there who've been chasing spare rats god rolls since the moment they fucking came out and still don't have one. And that was 15 months ago, 16 months ago now.
Yeah, I will sadly put my hand up for that.
Yeah, so sorry, Sassi. I'd forgotten about that.
I've never seen rapid hit on a spare rat in my entire life.
So I think that there's going to be an important balance there. Like they're going to have to look at, you can't take the grind out of Destiny because it is part of what the game is, right? But maybe they need to refocus the grind into, okay, well you can grind for weapons, but you can also grind for a way to improve the weapons that you have in a way that in something similar to the way Sass is talking about. Now, when we could re-roll guns in Destiny 1, it came at a really fucking inopportune time, because it was also the era of Fellwinter's Lie, right? And basically everyone was pumping mats into re-rolling Fellwinters until they got that bullshit god roll sniper length.
Rangefinder shot package.
Yeah, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that whole experience, I think, has probably soured Bungie on the idea of it to some extent. So
yeah.
And it may well pan out to be that way again. I'm not saying that they're right or wrong for that, but
like thinking about it, because this is what happens as soon as you can re-roll stuff, then you get the whole. It really encourages a meta, because you get the god roll videos, and then everyone gets the archetype right, and then you're basically just re-rolling until you get the god roll meta, and then you're not exploring anything else, and then everything else is trash except for that.
But
I do like the idea that Sassi man.
Anyway, that's like basically what's happening now. Anyway,
yeah, it just takes you, but it a lot less percentage. I would say a lot less people get to having the perfect roll, because you've got to just keep grinding for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do like the idea of being able to re-roll just like one perk. I think that's a nice medium almost.
Well, the other thing too is you got to remember that if we went back to the D1 system, you could run out of currency while you had a fucking shit roll of a weapon that you previously had a better roll of. So it was kind of a lottery. I was there for a while. I never managed to get the god roll Fellwinters in that context, because I'd go in and I'd roll it and roll it and roll it, and I'd run out of money, and then I'd be like, oh, it's fucking like it's super average, and now I don't want to use it. So I wouldn't like to see it go completely that way either. I do think that maybe there is some merit in the more division style system, but very interesting nonetheless. They're definitely going to have to do something.
In Division 1, this is my deepest knowledge on it because I played a lot of that. It got absurdly expensive. To after like the 8th time you've re-rolled it, it starts getting like stupid expensive. Like I think it was like a third or a quarter of the maximum currency that you had. So like it was a big deal. If you're like, oh, should I keep re-rolling this, or should I just say like,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they could probably tie Banshee into it somehow, and maybe tie the ability to re-roll to like weekly bounties or something, you know, like so that it's not like you can't do it infinitely. You've got to go and do some act in game to sort of earn the right to do it, and then
well, I guess
you know,
what they
and
could
then you
do
only
is
get
just
2
do,
goes at it a week or something, you know, like maybe it's like a fucking re-roll call.
Banshee. I was gonna say maybe make it like a Banshee bounty where you get like 5 free re-rolls.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
I don't know. This is a job for people much smarter than
much
me,
smarter than all of us. So just another couple of quick bullet points coming out of Luke's chat. Faction rallies aren't coming back. They're gone. They're gone, Barbarino. They're dead.
But the armor and some of the weapons are coming back.
They're going to start rolling faction gear into the world loot pool. So where you're seeing things like the prodigal stuff drop or anything you would see drop off leveling up a obelisk at the moment, you would, you know, that's the world loot pool. That will be where they'll be. The stuff you get from in Prime Engrams, more or less.
Find and replace spare rations with dire promise, everyone. That's basically what it's going to be.
Which faction is that from? Die Promise?
Dead Orbit. Edge Orbit.
It was the original. Like,
yeah, it was
if you
super
don't
strong.
have this gun, get out of it.
Did he explain why faction rallies wouldn't return at all? Or
nah, he just said they don't have any plans. I mean,
I actually think narratively hard to bring them back. I actually think that maybe not is a sole decision, but they've got so many plot things going on right now.
He also says the retention
doesn't make sense.
He also says the retention of the players during the faction rallies just wasn't there. It wasn't worth the manpower, I think it was.
Yeah, so it wasn't widely like participated in enough to really justify it. So, I mean, in that sense, they've got more data than any of the rest of us do. So we've kind of got to go with just take it on faith that that's the case. I kind of hoped that they would go down the path of like, okay, well, look, we're not going to be actively doing faction rallies, but you know, they're just going to become passive vendors like they were in D1, where you can go and sort of, you know, maybe they had bounties or something that you could level up to try and get particular gear. Right, but then when you think about that, is one of the biggest criticisms of the seasonal pass content and stuff is that there's no vendor refreshes. So then you'd add another 3 vendors to the game with unique loot pools that would then need fucking updating. And
this is what he said.
Yeah.
We have no plans to bring back faction rallies. The reward gear hasn't been used that much. Our character cast is growing too large, and crucially, they didn't drive a bunch of engagement with the game. So.
Oh right, so they actually said the character cast is growing too large. I mean, that's sort of what I was getting at. Like,
yeah, adding another 3, you're like, shit.
Because the thing is, if you look at what they've done, everyone who's like joined as a vendor has had a proper story. Ada 1, Saint 14, Osiris, they've all had Anna Bray. They've all actually had proper narratives to bring them into the universe. And you know, previously Destiny 1 wasn't really known for that. You just, hey, there's a faction rally going on. There's like 3 new vendors here or whatever. Like, if I can do what you want.
It was a bit of a shotgun effort.
Eddie, I've still got my Dead Orbit tokens. Whee!
Oh, get back to donating. You've got a shitload there to go.
I can't put them in my vault, man. I'll go back to donating.
I don't know. I think that's a relatively cool move to do that, to be able to, you know, at least we're going to be able to get some of that gear back and it'll roll through and be like current year stuff.
Some of the stuff looked really, some of the shaders, I mean, the new Monarchy shaders looked amazing. Yeah. The red, the royal red and gold. That was the OG. My goodness, these things.
Yeah, the Iron Man color fucking setup. I have none of them. I have none of the new Monarchy or Future War Cult shaders. I mean,
Dead Orbit.
Just Dead Orbit all the way. Edgelords for life. But I'm trying to think. There was another point in that I was going to make, but I can't remember what it was.
Faction rallies. Anything else?
It was faction rallies, and then there was something else. But
right anagrams are going away. They're cleaning up the quest log. They're making the quests.
That's it.
For new people, the quest line for brand new players was all over the shop. Like there was no real clear path, and that
No
drove a
shit.
lot of people away. We dramatically underestimated how many Guardians would wake up in the Cosmic Drome, so we're gonna fix the thing so you actually have some sort of fucking lineage to go through.
Oh, I mean, even you remember? I mean, I was in the fucking worst mood imaginable, and Sassi was there when I.
Yeah.
What was I doing? What did I have to catch up on? I had to do.
Oh, we had to
the
redo-
Imperium Foundation. I hadn't done any of that, so I did it all in the morning, and I was fucking raging the
We
whole time.
spent 4 hours doing quests, which was basically what I did with U-Log, except 3 times as many quests because he just hadn't done anything from the season start. So
the entire season in the morning, and
I do
we
think
got
Destiny does struggle with that sometimes. Is that you know, like once things get into that quest log and they get buried in the quest log, that they can kind of just gather dust for forever and never go anywhere.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit weird like that, isn't it? They definitely. I don't know what the solution is. They do definitely have trouble with. Continuity is not the right word, but I don't know, guiding
natural
new players
progression.
through. Yeah.
I feel like for a new player, the game doesn't logically bring you through up to speed.
especially
Well,
not
like
now.
Imperium
After talking to
Foundation,
Anna
right?
the other week, like talking to Anna the other week, it is so fucking open ended, and I understand the philosophy that they kind of had when they went, well, guess what? We want people to be able to jump in and within friggin' 20 minutes be playing Gambit with their mates or whatever, because that's really the blood and guts
But
of
there
Destiny,
should-
right? But
There should be like one quest line.
yeah, the
just
story. Just
guides
call
you
it
through it.
main story. And
Like
then-
you can do whatever the heck you want in whatever order that you want, but there's a quest that new players can choose to do, and that helps guide them through whatever the heck they want to do. I don't know.
Because
I mean, the quest log is
put it this
touched
way,
on
right?
in the thing. He
Like-
does say they're trying to clean it up, so hopefully
Put
that
it
goes
this way,
somewhere.
with like the donation for the Imperium Foundation, like if I wasn't on Twitter and YouTube and knew that I could donate, I actually couldn't work out like what step I had not completed to open it up in the tower. So I had unlocked the obelisks. I had
To really
Got it.
film.
linked them in the tower, but I didn't have the donation button yet. And there was nothing fucking cluing me into how to get that, apart from there was obviously a quest still sitting there that I hadn't. I think it was the same
Yeah.
14 one I had
We
to do.
had a
I had to
yeah.
I had to do same 14's quest to unlock it, and
Yeah.
it looked there was no indication that I was missing an icon
Yeah,
on
it
that
was
tower.
tribute
Yeah,
to
we had a
the tribute to the colonies, hey. Tribute to the
Yeah.
colonies.
Yes,
because I hadn't
that's
done
what I
it
hadn't
either.
done.
And
Yeah,
like
that's what I
it
hadn't
would
done.
have sat in my inventory for like months, literal months, and I didn't even realize that I hadn't done it because I don't get in, and I'm not a completionist by any stretch of the imagination. I open my quest log and it triggers Nick because he's like, how can you have all that undone shit? Like,
So how about this for a suggestion, right? Because I think having like bubbles of narrative is good, so you don't have to do the whole thing. But what if there was like a narrative page, right? And there'd be like a banner, right? So let's say it'd be like
It's like the old books from D1.
like a banner that you click on the banner and it just takes you into it and you just do it. And then all the bounties and everything sit outside that. Like all your other non-essential quests sit outside of like a campaign page that you click on, and it takes you into the activities that you need to do.
Yeah. Like
I also think-
we
sorry,
chatted with
Sas.
Log about this. It'd be really cool if there was just a tab that said priority quest, as in if you want to do more quests within this season, you need to do this one. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
yeah, hell yeah, yeah, and
any
like anything that
prerequisite
draws your
quests
attention
have
to
a-
it, anything that draws your
Yeah.
attention to it. But I also think that like Destiny's story is in an unfortunate spot where, like, especially the D1, the original D2 campaign, and sort of like on through to Warmind, like they did sink a lot of time and energy into the direct story mission narrative, right? And it's just dead now. It's dead content now. So I do think that they could almost have like a story focused tab in there, or maybe it's a quest that you can choose to pick up or something, but that even if you are at max level, it sort of step by step takes you back through the story to do it again. I think that, you know, I'm not saying I'd do it because I don't have that much time, but at least if you wanted to do it, it'd do it in a manner that you could follow, you know, like you just follow that quest and there's a marker on your director, no matter what, that's telling you the next place you got to go.
Yeah, see, I sort of imagined like, so the Imperium Foundation, right? that a little banner comes up, and it's the Empyrean Foundation story missions, which is basically you just doing a bunch of shit anywhere else. But the reason why it's important is because it unlocks your donation button.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a link to like tell me when to start it and to tell me when I'm finished it, because I think that's where players get lost. Like, am I finished yet? I don't know, right? So you need to put them in a bundle, say here's a start, here's a finish, and to notify you when you're finished. And for that, you need some indication, not just like at the moment. The only way you know you finished the Imperium Foundation is because you got the donation button, basically.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I'm done now.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit
I
murky in that respect.
Yeah, and I missed like in Destiny 1, I think someone put it in the chat, the heroic story mission, but it was like a proper playlist. So you could select that and you just play random story missions.
Yeah, that
Shouldn't the main quest just go back onto the director map in the tab?
yeah,
On the left-hand side.
Yeah, I wish they did that.
I mean, like there's arguments for and arguments against. Like for the majority of the player base that don't really have any interest in revisiting, and then it's just dead space. It's this fucking reminder that, I guess here's that thing you completed 2.5 years ago, like, and you're not interested in going back to. But I think that, like, even if it was something that you could go and, Amanda had the quest and you could go and pick it up from her, and it was just, here's the story again, and it guided you through it step by step, mission by mission, the end. I think it's a pretty simple kind of thing, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the changes that they have said are coming pan out, but they're also pretty vague. But yeah, I mean that's basically the long and short of the director's cut. I thought it was unreal. I'd love to see this sort of stuff get done more. I mean, as much as it can be good and bad, because there's obviously people who've read the things about the weapons and been not happy about it. I do think that this kind of level of transparency begets trust, and that is super important going forward, because this is all a relationship, and it seems to be strengthening at the moment. Let's say the least.
Nah, it's been great.
All right.
Shall we go to part 3 of things that have happened this week?
The third.
Oh no, part 3 of 4. We still need to talk about what happened this morning as well. Or have we already talked? No, we haven't talked about that.
Well, what was the other thing you were going to talk about?
The TWAB.
The TWAB. Oh, dude. Look, Matt and I had a conversation after last week's podcast, and we realized that when we go through and verbatim read the TWAB, it kind of sucks for everyone. I don't have a good time with it. Matt doesn't have a good time with it. I'm pretty sure you listening don't have a good time with me stumbling through fucking numbers and whatever. So really, all we're going to do with the TWAB from now on is read through ourselves in our own time, and then kind of just discuss the choice cuts of it. Because if you're as invested in Destiny as you probably are, given that you're listening to a fucking podcast about it, you've probably read the TWAB. Right. You don't need us to tell you what's in the fucking TWAB.
Let's go with the vague points.
Yeah, it's good.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, mate, you go for it. You
All
go
right.
for it.
Sassi, surefire TWAB. So Warlock melees are getting bigger, so you can slap from further away. Titan barricades are now harder to kill, and there's different weapons that do more damage to it, so that's kind of weird. One-shot abilities are now harder to pull off. Cool. We really needed that. The one thing I really haven't enjoyed recently is how easy or forgiving one-shot abilities are. So like your shoulder charge. The weighted throwing knife for Hunter is ridiculously forgiving.
I've seen some of the disgusting things you've done with that, and I think it was like 2 days after it came out, you put that clip up in the Discord, and I'm like, man, they need to delete this shit immediately. This is fucking broken, but it just hasn't really panned out that way. Yeah, it's been nowhere near as bad as I expected.
Super forgiving.
Yeah.
So what else is happening? Subclass tuning. So some Stormcooler top, Striker bottom, Arc Striker bottom are getting some love for PvE, and then PvP, sorry, and then Night Stalker bottom, Voidwalker bottom, and Striker middle are getting some love in PvP.
Yeah, so
like
I do like the idea of them jumping in, and obviously there's kind of like what I'll call the pest classes that you're always seeing in PvP these days. Like bottom tree, like Juggernaut Striker has been around and done to death at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Dongblade kind of comes and goes, but to see a few of the lesser lights kind of hopefully being brought up in the mix a little bit and a bit more viable, because like honestly, middle tree Striker for mine. The fucking Seismic Slam and Thunder Crash. I love the idea of it. I love everything it's about, but it's just not effective. I mean, maybe you can be really good with it, but like I'm not. So
I was playing that.
But don't you think they'll be more effective in Trials?
Maybe.
I don't know. I was playing comp last night with Max, and that's 3v3, and it was like 90% of the game was boring as heck, and then you got to do the one super combo where you do the slam melee into the super. And that was like 5 seconds of pure awesomeness, and then you're back to using a really shit subclass.
If they can figure out how to bring the rest of that subclass up just a little bit, make it a little bit more mechanically interesting.
I wish if you direct hit someone with the melee kill, it would kill them. Like the melee slam, the mini Fist of Havoc. If you hit them directly, I wish it killed them.
Yeah, because that's harder than it seems, right?
That's so hard to do.
Yeah. Or even if you
just tractor cannon them, launch them in a random direction as it just squeezes them.
Yeah, dude, that's the other thing, that if they're in a hallway, it should have like a tractor cannon launch, like a stomp mechanic on it, so it sends them flying back. So if they're against the wall and you slam next to them, they just skittle into the wall, and I'm about that. I mean, that's completely self-serving Titan nonsense, but Sass is a hunter, and it was his idea, so let's go.
Hunted trip mines are now sticky again. Thank
Unicorning
goodness.
is back. Keggy's going to be pleased.
I didn't understand why they didn't do that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Twitch
Do hunters have another sticky?
No, that's what we got.
All right. Yeah, very odd choice.
The incendiary grenade, which is your frag, and then the swarm grenade, which is like the shit version of skips that no one really uses.
Rad. All right.
Twitch Prime stuff. Do we even get Twitch Prime in Australia? Is that even a thing now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It has been for probably a year.
Okay.
Maybe longer.
I don't know. I don't know. You just Okay. You get the chicken. You get all old stuff. So the chicken petting emote.
Oh, you can stroke at the cock.
Look, I'll give you some advice, right?
Don't do it.
For the people out there that haven't got Twitch Prime. If you have a partner like me, like Danny, who likes to do online shopping, the easy fucking sell for you is when you get Twitch Prime, you get free shipping on Amazon. And I'm getting fucking emails on my Marlin Games Gmail. Your order, it's on its way. I'm like, I didn't fucking... Danny!
Yeah, dude, free shipping's fucking solid though, really. Like, you pay for it. It pays for itself, 100%.
Yeah. If you haven't, mate, and obviously you can, subscribe to your favorite fucking Trials carry PvP sweat lord when that comes out, and you get drops and you get free shipping. So
I wonder, Dumirian chat has just said
Twitch.tv/Marlin Games. Thanks.
Oh, you actually need to stream on it at some point to get fucking people to sub. You flog.
Nah, who was the? Oh, what was that idea? Oh, remember we had an idea to sub for no reason.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about our pyramid schemes on the podcast. That's for off the podcast, Sass. That's yeah. No, nothing to see here. Moving on.
Yeah. Stonk market is closing March the 10th, so do what I'm doing right now and
get a macro. If you're on console, just I don't know, get your younger cousin or brother or sister or something, and pay him $2 an hour to sit there and donate stonks or something. I don't know. Find a way to do it.
All right. Travel loading times are being returned to normal, so you don't have to wait 10 minutes for the one person that has a toaster or is playing Destiny on their smart fridge, and you're like, come on.
If you listen to this podcast and in any way you can load up Destiny on your fridge, please send us a photo. I would like to
see that.
Guys.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go to the tower, you go like have dinner, have a shower, come back. You're still loading in.
Like,
What's gonna happen with Trials and Stadia?
what's not going to happen?
I'll tell you what's not going to
Like-
happen. Matchmaking is not going to happen.
Guys, right now, first stream, fucking Myling Games, PvP, Stadia.
You imagine that, but you're playing on your Stadia. Here you are. You're loading into the into fucking Trials. Oh, it's the same people again. Who'd have fucking thought? There's only 9 people on the fucking console.
And then I can post world's first Trials flawless brackets Stadia.
Brackets, Stadia.
Bracket Stadia.
There's no way you'd be there for months, mate.
Mate,
Just
if
waiting
there, was
for-
if there was an emblem for the first to go flawless in 24 hours, like there was in Last Wish, you wouldn't be able to get it on Stadia. Because I don't think you'd
the
be able to
matchmaking
find
would just
7
take too
games.
long.
Yeah. You'd
Anyway.
be able to find 7 games.
Just got to convince 3 other people. You probably match in the whole 7 games.
But the hard part is convincing.
3 other people.
Buy this extremely expensive and ineffective platform.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the only other thing is that we got confirmation that in that cool photo with the little Rasputin carbon fiber sword dagger thingy that's next season's artifact, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
Oh, what was the artifact?
You know
The
that
sword.
You tweeted that
The
little
daggery sword
Rasputin
thing.
sword dagger thing.
Oh, is the sword the artifact?
yeah. So they leaked
Right.
that's the artifact.
It's Rasputin's gulag shiv. Just in case you needed,
He's gonna shank Osiris outside the.
Yeah,
By the way, it's we're calling it Rasputin's sword, but it's not really confirmed as that. It
Oh,
just
then-
has
No,
this-
it's just a Rasputin thing.
It's obviously not Rasputin's sword because Rasputin doesn't have fucking arms with which to swing a sword.
Well, do you know what it
There's no
reminds
need
me
for a
of? It
sword.
reminds me of the concept art for Charlemagne's Vault.
It fucking does. I'm trying to think of who else mentioned that a couple of days back. It was probably Anon because I follow him closer than I do most. But
Because I'm pretty
It
sure
really does.
Charlemagne's Vault, the original concept, it was like
Oh,
a
man,
treasure
hasn't that
trove. It didn't have like
been
gold and
retconned?
shit in it.
yeah, it was kind of opulent. I think
Yeah.
I think that's basically what we're picking up on when it gave me a Callous-y vibe as well. And then you said it and I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, great minds think alike. And then it was like bad minds think wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it was
Kinda shut-
okay. So, firstly, it was called Season of Worthy, and Callus has been banging on ever since he was introduced about Guardians being worthy to sit by his side when the end comes.
Yeah.
And we're getting towards that pointy end. And then there's a gauntlet on the table, and there's also a chalice on the table, and there's also grapes on the table. So it's very opulent. So it has if you took out the terminal, right, and just had a gold sword with chalice, with grapes, with everything, you would say that Callus is going to be involved in some way.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Then
I
what?
totally
Then
agree.
you add in a clover spray terminal with basically diamond patterns on the sword that look like a Rasputin symbol. I mean, I just said whatever I fucking said on Twitter and people losing their minds. It was a joke. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you just got to do it more often because
I think so.
This is the mistake that you're making is that you tweet not often enough that people realize that not everything you say is like well thought out and well researched. So you gotta learn from old Papa Log over here. Just tweet whatever comes in your fucking brain and never look back. That's how you go
Yeah,
about
but
it.
I even gave him the upside down emo just to sort of.
All you gotta do, man, is you gotta post that Callus in his robot form went and saw robot Rasputin and be like, "Yo, us bionics have to stick together," and Rasputin's like, "Yo, dog,
I mean,
feel that."
Rasputin could be
And then-
controlling the fucking Leviathan and the things of Callus and all that, and it just could be a fucking mirage.
Oh, Rasputin is Callus. Dun dun dun.
All right, and on that note, we might get into the actual fucking lore instead of the shit me and Sass are going to sit here and make Matt listen to. So let's do that. While he dies slowly inside from the pain in his heart and the sun cream in his eyes.
Well, I mean, the first thing's about the anomaly, right, which I brought
yeah.
back up because that was a bit of a hidden piece of lore that didn't sort of get revealed straight away because once again it was the lore that was put in with the collector's edition of Shadowkeep.
Yep.
And it explained essentially an orb. They explained the anomaly map, and it had pictures of the anomaly, and it was 100% about the anomaly. And essentially, they had this sphere, and it caused the same effects as the pyramid ships do. It was causing nightmares, insomnia, all the same symptoms that Eris Morn was going through. And they basically had shift workers working on it. And initially, they thought it was a communication device to the traveler's home planet. However, the whole series sort of ends with what appears to be the collapse. And so they think it was a transmitter of some sort. And my sort of speculation at the moment was whatever was in the anomaly was a transmitter to not the traveler's home planet, but wherever the pyramid ships or the darkness came from. And that what they did was activate a beacon that basically caused the collapse.
And then they shoved it in the big box in the middle of the anomaly map and tried to hide it from the universe, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can't. Well, you've watched it more recently. I never rewatch my videos. I usually just read the script because it's quicker than listening to my fucking slow. Hey, here's a tip, right? Because I speak so slow, you can play videos on like 1.5 times speed, and I sound like a chipmunk, but you can actually still hear me fine because it's so slow normally. So.
You know what? Oi, there is a bit in that video, I think, where you yawn, and it's actually in the lore, like it's in the lore entry, like there's a yawn in the lore entry. And I was just sitting there, and it went to an ad, and then came back to immediately a yawn, and I'm like, "Fuck, that's unprofessional." And then I'm like, I'm gonna have to tell him about that. That's fucking hilarious. And then I realized it was part of the lore thing, so then I had nothing to review about, so I was sad. Good story.
Yeah. So, yeah. Interesting. Anomalies coming back. You know, I have a much more faith in Bungie now with how they integrate lore in game. Like it's, look at like Saint 14, Osiris. Like we're getting further away from just stuff for the sake of stuff and more things that are integrated.
That's a classic example of like what felt like backstory for the sake of backstory, right? And it's taken nearly the full course of fucking Destiny's lifespan to come to the point where now we're actively talking about that being something that's pertinent to what's going on right now.
Yeah, and you can see that it links everything together because it links Shadowkeep and the pyramid ships, and now it links Rasputin. And they've put because the thing that Titans know about Anomaly, the whole funny part about that was a Titan didn't know what the anomaly was, went up and punched it, and Rasputin dropped the Warsat on his head. So Rasputin
knows what's up.
Yes, Rasputin knows that whatever's in the anomaly is incredibly dangerous and is protecting it from dumbass crayon-eating Titans.
The first thing I am doing when the season kicks over is going in, loading up a custom game of that map by myself, walking up to the anomaly and punching it to see if I get hit by a Warsat.
Imagine if that was like a hidden mechanic.
I was thinking, you know what would be the biggest shit post is be like, new secret on the anomaly map, 4 Titans, and like, get 4 Titans and punch it at the same time, and then just play like a Rickroll or fucking shit.
Well,
You've become someone else through the course of this fucking quantum melon shit.
I know.
And you know what? I like it. I like it a lot.
Do you think that in lieu of us getting Twilight Gap back, and then coincidentally there was a mission using the Twilight Gap map, do you think that Anomaly is back because coincidentally we will get a story mission that uses the Anomaly map, and we will see the big box open?
I mean, it would link, like if the next season is to do with Rasputin and linking it back to the pyramid ships. Well, actually, this leads us to the new lore. This is all linking back together now, right? Because you've got Trials, who Osiris was the original one. Well, Brother Vance originally ran the Trials of Osiris.
We don't talk about Brother Vance.
Yeah, we don't talk about him. You've got Rasputin now too. You've got Anomaly returning, which links us to the pyramid ships because the thing I didn't mention is that the sphere inside the anomaly is very, very similar to the sphere, the artifact that we get in the
And the
Black
Shadow
Garden
Code.
raid. Yeah, was it? Yeah, it was in. It was a campaign, right?
Yeah, we go in and talk to our like naughty self-image.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very so you've got that element. You got Trials, which is Osiris, and you've got Rasputin and the anomaly. So like these three different elements can literally be tied together now in whatever they reveal to be Season of Worthy. And chuck Callus in there for extra good measure. I mean, that would be fucking insane if they bring in a Callus's thread. If they bring Callus's thread, the pyramid thread, and Rasputin in one season.
It'll be nearly too
man.
much. It'd go from like everything moving in a snail space to all like,
0 to
yeah,
100.
here's all this stuff. Fuck.
And
I
then
tell you right now,
Callus's-
if you're not subscribed to Marlin Games, my name is Byth. Go out there.
And then Callus's big fish ship eats a pyramid ship, and then all hell breaks.
And then it gets indigestion. So that was the initial part of it. The second part was the lore entry released this morning that covers basically Osiris going to investigate something on Rasputin's direction after their cranky little talk, it seems. And,
so it seems like so it seems like this is picking up after the cutscene, or like during the cutscene, right? So he kicks in the door and has a conversation with Rasputin, and he gets a clue, but we don't really know what he's looking for, right?
no, we don't.
And then it very much seems like he goes to the edge of space. Heliopause. What's the definition of heliopause again? That's like, he goes to the heliopause.
Where's Beard Grizzly when you need him?
That's the
He loves this
edge
stuff.
of the it's the edge of the solar system.
Yeah, it's basically
The boundary of the heliosphere. Well, that's fucking really. What's a heliosphere? Then?
Isn't it the point at which the sun's gravitational force ceases to have influence?
The region of space encompassing the solar system in which the solar wind has a significant influence. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. See, I was right. Edge of the solar system.
Yeah, so it's a long way away in a bad dark spot.
Yeah, that's what I took from it. Edge of the solar
It's
system.
more than an Uber, all right? Maybe 2 Ubers.
You wouldn't want to get an Uber Black there, that's for sure. So he goes there and it calls it the anomaly, but it's not capitalized. I think it's not really to do with the anomaly that we know. I think it's just
No, it's just something else.
it's just an anomaly.
I
But
read
it
that
does-
as like something unreadable on the map kind of thing. Like,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, throughout the thing,
And-
he gets gravitational anomalies that just start coming from all directions. So it's like
Well, because if it has gravitational pulls, that's exactly what happened during the collapse. It's like Marasov's description, the Awoken's description of like the darkness arriving. And it seems like he enters some sort of ship, maybe a pyramid ship, but it's not. So at the very end, it talks about an angular shadow. So it sort of alludes that maybe he boarded the pyramid ship, because he also tells the ghost not to come with him, which is sort of a
Sagira, come on, Sagira.
And Sagira didn't feel too good when they arrived.
Yeah, which
is
means
indicative of what happened with our ghost when we jumped on the pyramid.
yes, draining the light from him. So it's sort of cluing into him boarding a pyramid ship that's full with the darkness, and it actually says the deep, which is another name for the darkness. They give it a capital D too, so it's
Give it the
noun.
D.
So the
Sorry.
deep. And the main thing is he finds a silver seed and steals a seed.
But then doesn't he pass out or whatever? He's sort of like overcome, but then wakes up in the cockpit of his ship, and Sagira's like, like it's like he never went in there to begin with, but he still has the seed. So it's like, what the fuck?
See, this reminds you of Black Garden stuff. This reminds me of like the seed in the Black Garden and whatever that has to do with it. And well, the thing is, it could be a hallucination too, because that's a possibility.
It'll be interesting to see sort of like, I mean, with stuff like this, always gets turned over a little bit in the lore community. There's always a lot of conversation about this sort of stuff, and then sort of there's a general consensus gets landed on sort of a week down the line as to what the fuck actually happened. So it'd be interesting to see.
The thing is, everyone wants an answer now, but I can tell you right now, there is absolutely no point in me making a video about it because these narrative previews are never just singular. They'll be probably one midweek or one towards the end of the week. We'll have another, at least 2, I think, that will explain this before this. When does Season of Worthy drop?
Week and a half.
There'll probably be 3.
There'll be another one next Friday, almost certainly.
Yeah, there'll be another narrative preview before the season. These precede the next season, so
and there'll probably be one on the day of.
Yeah, they've done that before too. So I think we got 3 in the past before a season.
We usually get 3.
Yeah,
we did.
Actually,
they were 2 days apart, weren't they? Shadowkeep.
Yeah, they were even closer.
Shadowkeep were more frequent.
They're all.
I remember them. Yeah, I don't think there's a killer order. Like I remember getting a bunch in a week one time. I can't remember which ones they were, but it just came out a week. So.
The sentence that I really liked throughout the whole article was the path of want falls to assimilation, which I don't know, tends to me that he's hallucinating badly. Because you know how when we went on the pyramid ship, we started seeing like the full manifestations of previous bosses and whatever, and the darkness or whoever was talking to us through the ghost was like, suck a dick. I'm controlling you now.
Got him.
You obviously played on a different language settings than I did because I certainly don't remember that, but I get the sentiment.
Well, the other thing was, did you pick up on the whole throne world thing, like the whole majesty of it?
The cathedra overwhelmed by prediction rings with the dull mimic tone of congruence. Oh no, that's the what is it? Oh, it's the wrong fucking paragraph. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks like he went into
the null point softens and splits into a blooming cathedra, a metal seed laid barren in the bosom of the throne in a pool of light.
Yeah,
nexus.
And because it also talks about the vacancy, doesn't it say something? It just reminded me of killing Oryx. That's what it reminded me of, and it's sort of, but I think the whole point of that was to just because we know Oryx had a conversation with the Deep, and I think that for me just help set the scene that Osiris was making contact with the dark and has this throne world majesty sort of area.
What we'll do, we'll open up the chat because there's a few people that are contributing actively to the conversation here. One being Matt. Oh shit, what's going on with that? Hang on, let me fix this. Goodbye.
Let me bring it up.
Yeah, it won't be a sec.
But yeah, and he uses his echoes and they can't find anything. Like they just keep on going.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Nah.
Yeah.
And Osiris looks old as fuck in that.
That was we were talking about that just before. Hey, like, what the fuck? He looks so old.
Did you see someone's? Did you see someone's shit post of my Twitter one where it was like they just photoshopped that old man meme onto it?
Yeah. All right, if you're rocking on in chat and you've got anything you want us to discuss super quick, throw it up now. But yeah, dude, I thought it was a bit rich of Osiris walking in calling fucking Rasputin old man. Man, like that was too much, mate. You can't.
Yeah.
People in glass houses.
I went in and explained it all that in the next video about. I think I spoke about this on last week's episode, didn't I? All the reasons why.
Yeah. Potential reasons, anyway. Like why you could call it.
Reasons, yeah. What's
your video on
and
this
I'm
week? What are you putting out this week?
Oh, I did a full summary of Rasputin's history from his original creation for the Jacob Hardy's AI on the ship that went to make contact with the Traveller, to his programming by Anna Bray with Clovis Bray, to the events of Siva and the Iron Lords, which actually So I speculated that one of the reasons why Osiris called Rasputin a murderer was to do with Saladin, and I'm pretty sure there's a reference to that in the new law. Basically, pretty sure he said something about the Iron Lords, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So yeah, because we know that Rasputin controlled Siva at one point and enacted the defenses in the Siva replication chamber to defeat the Iron Lords, which was the events of Rise of Iron. We played Rise of Iron that related to that history.
Yep.
And then we went into the programming, of Rasputin, how he makes decisions, and then tried to answer the question of what side is Rasputin on. And Log, you made a feature in this video, even though I didn't mention it, so I just stole your idea in classic content creation style.
Go for it, mate.
The very end of the video is I am 100% positive that Rasputin will do what's best for humanity, but the question is, what if what is best for humanity is to side with the dark?
Yeah, see, genius.
Fucking genius.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm just literally the broken clock that's right twice a day. That's all right. Quick few questions. Sol Polaris says PAX ... too soon. I don't think it's ever too soon to start talking about PAX, but we literally have no information whatsoever at the moment. But the one thing that I can absolutely guarantee anyone listening to this in Australia is that we will be doing everything we can to not only
to have a Trials PvP portion in PAX, the sweatiest competition you can ever think of, the greatest competition in Australia. PAX Trials is coming to PAX Australia.
We're going to set up like foam platforms in the middle of the Yarra out the front of fucking boat builders or whatever it is, and people can get in there 3v3 elimination, beat the shit out of each other just for everyone else in merriment.
Yeah, if we can't get Bungie to set up a booth, we've got to make our own gauntlet gladiator style Trials elimination physical contest.
Yeah, we're going to give Chook a referee's shirt and he's going to be in there. So no one survives. All right, there was another one. Mr. Green 16, what storyline would you like to see resolved? I'd like to see Master Rahul's storyline resolved in his death and someone replace him.
Got him.
I don't know. Actually, probably Callus, of all of the ones that are outstanding at the moment, sort of like what the fuck Callus is actually planning on doing and how we fit into it. I really like the idea.
Right now, I think the most important storyline is probably the pyramid ships, and I think I would like to see that something happen there. I guess the curse in the dreaming city, I just sort of want a conclusion. I'm not terribly excited for it anymore, but it'd be nice to have some resolution there. And then I think Callus, man, he's I really like the character of Callus. I think that's cool. Where's the real Callus?
I don't know. That's the question. Just to quickly jump in on X-Player 4's thing there, Trials pub crawl, where you actually have a physical card. And we'll mark you off at every pub that you make it to. And if you spew, you get a cross. And if you spew twice, you're out. You're eliminated.
What do you do if you get through all 7 without spewing?
Do you know how easy that would be to do?
D2U flawless victory.
That would be so easy to do at PAX because all the pubs are really close together. We could actually do a Trials PAX pub crawl.
We are doing that. All right, I'm going to work with Keg and start setting up these cards.
We don't even know if Trials still has cards. Let's just give it a week and a half before we commit to any flagrant alcoholism.
Next minute, I've made an order for fucking 500 Trials card. Damn it.
It's down at Officeworks printing them out. I like that idea. That is a fucking cracker idea.
That's a great idea. Okay, someone write that down. We'll have to come back to that.
Someone take notes.
It's all right. It's recorded on the internet. All right. Well,
but we will try and do something.
Oh, dude, there is
them plus us.
There's just take it as read that there's irons in the fire and that we're not resting on our laurels and we're not making any assumptions as to where things are going to go. But if we have anything to do with it, it'll be bigger and better than last year. And we think of it, personally, I think it was a really important part of sort of like the Aussie Destiny community coming of age a little bit. So we're absolutely committed to that going forward. So not to labour on the point, but yeah. All right. All right, we're not getting into expanding the fuck.
All right.
We can have 3v3 at every fucking thing. So you've got to outdrink the other.
You're gonna outdrink the other team. Yeah.
No.
Best of fight, and it's gonna be best of fight.
No,
I think we might have finally found a format of trials that I'm like top 1% at. And on that note, if you're listening to this, no matter where you are, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. Tell us if you're in on a Destiny Australia PAX pub crawl.
Leave the word trials PAX pub crawl.
Trials of Alcohol Osiris. We'll do that.
The trials of PAX done.
And until then, Maddie. Firstly, Sass, thanks for coming on because we always appreciate getting you on and talking about the more,
my man. Thank you.
the more hardcore end of the stick.
It is always a pleasure.
I wish I could say the same.
I know, it must be pretty rough listening to my voice. I feel like the viewership goes down on the YouTube when they just have to hear it.
That's all right.
No, it was good having you, mate.
It was good, man. It was good.
Can I share, as we leave, some wholesome sort of, I guess, a story? Well, not a story, but just to let you know, this is the rest of my weekend. I think I'm safe to share my screen. So hold on 1 second. Will this work? This be fine. We'll see what happens. Hold on.
As long as it's not hardcore pornography.
I was going to say in before TOS.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Mega Shark Peter. This is what I'm going to go back and color in with my niece.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is the best, dude. Fuck
it's so cool because she loves Pokemon. So we bring up a Pokemon image. I do the outline, and then she goes in and colors it in on the laptop. And she just came in here before. She's like, "Can we finish coloring?" I was like, "No, I've got to do a podcast." You're like, "Oh." So this is Mega Shark Peter. We're going to go and color in the rest of this very short.
That's unreal, man. That is unreal. Why is its name Peter? Sure.
I know it's got Peter in the name, which is a bit upsetting, but Shark Peter.
Oh, pedo.
Yeah, like torpedo. Like torpedo.
Right. I thought you meant
Shark
Peter,
Peter,
as in P-E-T-E-R.
Yeah, I was like, pedo. There's a shark named after my dad. Rad.
No.
All right, give me 1 sec. We're gonna find someone to host. But it has been a fucking pleasure, Maddie. Where are people likely to find the lore today? What's the go with that?
Oh, the lore will find you
in a locked room on reserve base.
Get out of it. Don't talk your fucking game.
The lore will find you in the center of an anomaly. On the map, anomaly. In an anomaly.
Who would have thunk it?
On anomaly.
On anomaly.
Just go punch it. See what happens.
The law will find you in a war sat shot at you by Rasputin after punching the anomaly. All right, we're gonna go visit Tamsin, so go over there and make some fucking noise. But same time next week, but probably not because we're fucking incredibly inconsistent. But at some stage next week, fucking see you later.
Peace.
Bye.